Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right, so I came across this article and read the article and triggered a few scriptures. So it's with Nick Cannon. I didn't realize it, but I guess he's the host of The Masked Singer right now. And this story, well, let me play the video, and then I'm going to we'll read the article, parts of the article, and then I'm going to bring out some scriptures.
The different baby mothers. That's what.
But why do people question that? I mean, because that's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the ideas of you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life, and really that's just a classified property when you think about it. Those women and all women are the ones that open themselves up to say, I would like to allow this man in my world, and I will birth this child. Mm-hmm. So it ain't my decision. I'm following suit.
All right, so the video was the subject of the video was Nick Cannon and his baby's moms, right? His baby mamas and all his kids, right? So let's read the article. It says, he's wild and out, because that's the show he used to host. And it says, he's wild and out with a bunch of women, and here's why. For Nick Cannon, having multiple babies with multiple girlfriends is the father of seven's way of rebelling against Eurocentric institution of marriage. All right, and I pulled up that definition for Eurocentric. It says, focusing on European culture or history to the exclusion of a wider view of the world, implicitly regarding European culture as preeminent. So basically Eurocentric, that would be a Eurocentric custom. He's right. And Europeans goes back to the Romans, all right? And the Romans goes back to the Greeks and the Edomites. So this is a Edomite belief system. This is the Western civilization, the Western culture is basically based on the culture, or really they don't have culture, but their wickedness is we've grown up in captivity as men of Israel, and we were always taught that if we had multiple women that we were, bad guys, or we were players or womanizers, you see. But like Nick Cannon, he said Eurocentric. He's right, Eurocentric. That's a lifestyle of the Romans and the Greeks, the Europeans who would become the Europeans. And just to cut to the chase, the Edomites, okay? It says that's a Eurocentric concept. The idea that you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life. Cannon, 40 years old, explained Monday. The idea that a man should have one woman, the host of The Masked Singer, continued, we shouldn't have anything. I have no ownership over this person. Cannon, who welcomed his seventh child, the fourth within a year's time, in June, said that fathering so many kids is not a decision he gets to make. Those women, and all women, are the ones that open themselves up and say, I would like to allow this man into my world, and I will birth this child. The California native insisted, it ain't my decision, I'm just following suit. Well, really, I mean, it's his decision. It's his decision to pop these women and to get them pregnant, So what I'm going to do is just read the pictures, read the captions with the pictures. It says, Cannon with the 10-year-old twins, Monroe and Moroccan. He has with the pop diva Mariah Carey. So he's got two with Mariah, And you go down to Cannon and Bell with their kids on Christmas 2020. Showing you he's still in darkness. This man knows he's an Israelite. He knows he was in the news about a year ago, maybe a little less, for calling himself a Jew, and he got corrected by his daddy Esau, and said they nipped it in the bud right away. They said, hey, you can't call yourself a Jew. You can't be posting about that. They took away his show. Wilding Out, I believe it was, but I guess he's, he got back in line with them because now he's hosting The Masked Singer. So Esau let him slide. But this is his other baby's mama. Her name is Brittany Bell. She's Miss Guam, or she was a pageant for Miss Guam in 2014. And those are the two kids he has with her. And then you move down to this lady, DJ Abby De La Rosa, and that's Nick Cannon and her babies. She's got twins with him. And then this is his most recent baby, is with, let me see what her name is, Alyssa Scott, his fifth son. And there's Nick Cannon's really she's his wife, right? Because he's having children with these women, meaning he's having sex with them, and marriage is sex, okay? So these are his wives, but because he's in Babylon, he's not able to claim them as his wives, because why? We're under the Eurocentric laws and regulations, right? You can't have two wives in America, all right? But, this brother is definitely a 2/3, but it's in Jake's nature to multiply it and be fruitful and have a lot of kids. That's the nature of Jake. So, he's over here, giving his opinion on the subject and on the matter, saying, in one point he said that, let me read it. It says, the idea that a man should have one woman, the host of The Masked Singer, continued, we shouldn't have anything. I have no ownership over this person. All right. Well, I'm going to pull out some scriptures with that being said, right? The first one I'm going to pull out is Ecclesiasticus in 36 and 24. This is just showing you how destroyed our people are, because the scriptures is contrary to what our people are saying, This is Ecclesiasticus 36 and 24. It says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So, because we're in captivity in Babylon, Nick Cannon, these women all don't live with him in one household, and that's why he's saying, oh, well, I don't own them, I don't have ownership of these women. But in reality, the scriptures we just read, it says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. All right? So a possession would be a wife, okay? She belongs to you, all right? She's literally, your possession. And when we were following our laws and customs, of the Israelites, the women were our possession, Not that doesn't mean you got to treat your woman like some type of way. You can still respect your woman and be good to her, but she is your possession. She belongs to you, okay? She's supposed to be a pillar of rest, meaning when you get home, she's not supposed to give you a bunch of headaches. No, she's supposed to be your aid, your help, your rest. And if she's not doing that, then she's truly not your wife. But this is captivity, so you got men dealing with all kind of madness, and women who don't respect their husbands, and doing whatever the hell they want to do, But just wanted to bring that out. How he's wrong when he says he doesn't have ownership. He's supposed to. You have children with a woman. You're supposed to. That's going to be your possession, your wife. But we're in captivity again, and it's illegal to have multiple wives in captivity. So we can't do that. And not only that, if you're part of this truth, the better thing to do. You're better off having one wife, because you have Sophia. Sophia is what's going to keep you stable, all right, which is this wisdom of this truth, all right. And I'm going to go to 1 Timothy 3 and 2. Let's see. So I'm going to start at 1 Timothy 3 and 2. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, and of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach. All right, so if you have a bunch of wives, that shows you that Nick Cannon, he's obviously not a bishop, he's not a priest, he's not a part of the elect, he's not teaching this gospel. All right, because a bishop would be another word for a priest or a religious leader, and brothers, all of us that have been called in this truth would be considered a religious leader. Okay, we're the leaders of the nation of Israel, man. So, the ideal situation really is to have no wife, but if rather than to burn with lust, you should have a wife if that's going to take you away from the truth. When you're out there, you can't keep it at home at all because you're too busy looking for a woman. No, get a wife. If the Lord gives you a wife and she's going to listen to you, then there's nothing wrong if a woman wants to dwell with you. All right, she can be your wife. There's no sin in that. It says, verse 3. Not given and apt to teach, really meaning ready to teach. Even if you have your wife, you have 3, 4 wives, that's a lot. That's a huge distraction, So we're really in a time where we shouldn't have, more than one wife, because it's going to be a distraction, Verse 3, not given to wine, no striker, no, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous. One that ruleth well his own house, having his sons in subjection with all gravity. Meaning teaching your kids righteousness, For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of Yahweh thy power? See? So we got to learn to rule our own households, because we're eventually going to be the rulers of the nation of Israel. But it starts out with ruling your own household, all right? So, but the point of this is it says a husband of one wife, okay? But that, like I say, many of Jake, we have different women that have given us children, So, in the kingdom, the women that we have children with are going to be living with us, It's not going to be, you have one of your kids' mother's going to be in a different city than you, or you all 5 of your babies' mamas are going to be spread across town. You're going to be paying child support. No, the kingdom is going to be eternal, and you're going to have the women that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai gives you. And they are going to be your property, your own. You're going to have ownership. You're going to claim ownership of them. You're not going to have it where, like in Esau's kingdom, where they go and they're with other men. They start having children with other men, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be dealing with all that madness. Okay. There ain't going to be co-parenting like they call it in Esau's kingdom, you know. But let's go to Isaiah 10 and 22. It says, "For though thy people thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness." All right, so see, you saw Nick Cannon has 7 kids now, you know. Jake has a lot of kids, man. I've met men who had 50 kids, literally, you know, Jake. So this is a characteristic of Jake, of Israel. We have a lot of kids, especially compared to Esau. We're not the minority. Esau, Edom is the minority. All right, we outnumber the heathen, man. All right. We get another precept, Genesis 1 and 28. It says, "And Yahweh the power blessed them, and Yahweh the power said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing upon that moveth upon the earth." So see, be fruitful and multiply. All right, so that's what Nick Cannon, he's doing. He's being fruitful and multiplying, right? Like I say, Jake has a tendency to be fruitful and multiply. Why? Because we're the Israelites. It's not Esau, Edom that is growing like the sands of the sea. It's the Israelites, you know. We get another precept, Deuteronomy 21, and we'll go 15. If a man, and this is going in on multiple wives, right? It's not a sin to have multiple wives, you know. But like I say, in captivity, it's ideal to have one wife and just to push this truth, you know. We're not in the time where if we have a wife, we're out there scheming and trying to plot on getting a new wife. You know, you're going to have 2 Babylonian women in your household, you know. It's hard enough to teach one woman the truth, but more or less 2 women, 2 women who were raised in a Babylonian mindset. Think about that, you know. That's going to be a tall task for anybody, you know. Which, no, thank you. I'm not trying to take on that role, because, like I say, man, it's a headache. It's a distraction. It's going to pull you away from this truth. And really, we're legally in Babylon, America, you can't even do it, you know. The government could throw you in prison if you keep more than one wife. Deuteronomy 21:15. "If a man have 2 wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved the firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn." So the firstborn is the firstborn, plain and simple. It don't matter if you don't love that wife, but whoever gave you that first child, that first son, that's going to be the one. That's the beginning of his strength. I think if you keep reading, that's what it said right here. "But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all he that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength, and the right of the firstborn is his." So let's say Nick Cannon hates Mariah Carey, but he loves his new wife. Well, that doesn't mean he can give his new wife's son the blessing, you know, or being the firstborn, you know. No, the one you had with Mariah is still the firstborn, even though allegedly you're not with her no more. She's not your wife anymore, but she's got your firstborn son. So that's, even if you hate her, in the law it says that that's going to be the heir of the blessing, of the birthright, you know. So let's go back to the scripts. I'm going to go to 1 Kings 11 and 1 through 3. This is just going on because, again, we can't have multiple wives in Babylon, America. All right, it's not wise to do that. It's not wise to do. Right now, the most important thing to focus on is the truth and pushing this gospel, you know. It's not gathering up all your women, you know. King Solomon did that, but he was in a different time. And he was King Solomon. None of us are King Solomon. All right? Yes, you know, during Jacob's trouble, when this devil starts to come down with great wrath, which we're right on the brink of him coming down with great wrath, with him mandating these vaccinations, you know. There's going to be lots of chaos coming to America. And without this truth and knowledge, people are going to fold, man. But the men of the Lord are going to stand firm. Because why? Because we know what's going on. We know what's happening. This is 1 Kings 11:1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. And that's where Solomon was wrong, because he started setting up altars and whatnot to those, because he loved those women, you know, so much that he would set up altars for them, which is wicked as hell, you know. And Yahweh was not pleased with Solomon as he was his father David, you know, because of that. So, you know, I'm going to go into Obadiah, just because you see, even though Nick Cannon doesn't know that he's supposed to be fruitful and multiply, like he didn't say that in his interview. He never said be fruitful and multiply. He just said it was the woman's choice. It wasn't even his choice. No, nigga, it's your choice, man. If you're going into all these women, that's your choice to have children with them. It ain't her choice. You know, you're the man, you see. If you're a man and you have that mentality of being a man, especially an Israelite man, then you're going to be knowing what women you're going to want to deal with and have children with, all right? And now that we're in this truth, that's the way we got to be, our mindset, you know? We're the men. We have the ownership. We have the power. We have the ability to say, hey, I'm going to have a child with this woman or not, you know? That's the mentality you should have. This is Obadiah 1 and 2 concerning Esau Edom, because he doesn't multiply like we do, all right? Like the Jake does, all right? It says, Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised, all right? Esau is small among the heathen, meaning he's the true minority. That's why he's causing so much chaos. That's why he's going to go run to his underground bunkers. That's why he's eventually going to nuke this place and try to start over. But what he fails to understand is that Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai is going to come back with the angels right at the time of the nukes and going to wreak havoc, and he's going to get hunted out from the clefts of the rocks. All right, talking about Esau Edom, the Edomites, the ones who have the money to buy a underground bunker and survive a nuclear destruction, catastrophic, war. Let's see, I'm going to go to Romans, because even though Nick Cannon doesn't know that it was a commandment to be fruitful and multiply, right? He said it was the woman's decision. It wasn't his decision, it was the woman's decision, because he's in that Queen of Heaven mindset, right? Let's go to it. Romans 2 and 14. It says, For when the Gentiles, which Nick Cannon is a Gentile because he doesn't know the truth, he's not coming in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, so he's a Gentile. So let me read it again. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves. All right? So you see, even though he doesn't know that's a law, or he didn't give the credit to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and say, hey, my Lord and Savior said, and my power, Yahweh, said, hey, be fruitful and multiply. No, he said, it's these women's choice. You know? He was keeping the law by nature, by having the kids and being fruitful, but you know, he didn't it's just because by nature he wasn't doing it because he was trying to keep the law. So, you know, that's the verses that came to mind after I read the article about Nick Cannon and his baby mamas, you know. So, you know, it's just nature. It's natural for Jake to be fruitful, all right? It's biblical prophecy coming to pass, all right? The ones you're calling blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the most, we outnumber all of the rest of the nations, and it's because of biblical prophecy, all right? So with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right, shalom to the elect.